one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm used to it.
Hello. We're here. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Hey, look, we're back. That wasn't long. We weren't gone long. I see Beth Duffy, Fritz Ader, and a couple other people in the chat already. Oh, Sith Princess is back. Yeah, you've been time warped, Sith Princess, to Mega Promises Kept. We call it Promises Kept so we don't get banned. Say hello to Doc Martin, everybody. Say hi, Doc.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another week of winning with our wonderful POTUS. And we are knocking them dead. So we got a lot of material. We didn't even get to cover all of the winning we had planned for to cover last week. So we're going to start off with some of that, and then we'll transfer to this week's winning too. Because I'm telling you, with our wonderful president at the helm, America, if you haven't noticed, is roaring back. We have so much to cover. It's hard to cover it in one show. So we're glad you tuned in. And I'd like to also say a welcome to a new person that we are watching, Earth Citizen. So we're so glad you joined us. Come back and see us again. We're glad to have you.
Denise. Oh, I don't know what. Okay, I'll have to look. Okay, so if you didn't catch, last night we did a Friday night special before Chris Mack, the Mac Files, if you want to catch that replay, to see what we went over yesterday, to make up for the show we didn't have last Saturday night. Check that out, and also check out the crew on the Speakeasy. If you didn't see that, you could check out that replay episode. I think it's 3 now already, right? Right, Doc?
Yes, that was our 3rd week.
Yes. And now we're on episode 18. Can you believe it? 18 already.
For Mega Promises Kept. I put up with you, Yankee, for that long. I can't believe it.
Let's get into it, Doc. How about this first one? Eric Trump. Trump accomplishes since Election Day. Dow up 45%, S&P up 37%, NASDAQ up 54%, stocks gained $9.2 trillion in value, 5 million new jobs, 3.9 million Americans off food stamps, unemployment rate 3.6, lowest in 50 years. That's some magic wand. What do you think, Doc?
I think that was worthy of me breaking out my MAGA flag and my American flag. That is winning with a capital W, if you hadn't noticed. So, heck yeah, I think those are numbers to celebrate, don't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can't argue with those numbers. The left has nothing to offer. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I left that up for a few seconds longer just to let people take a look at that. And we'll move on to the next one. You know, that's just amazing.
I know, I had to highlight that because, you know, it doesn't matter how many times we see the numbers, no matter how many times POTUS brings it to our attention, they're mind-blowing numbers, guys. Think Obama couldn't even make it to 2%. So this is incredible, it's huge. And I don't think we can let ourselves become numb to it or ever fail to celebrate it, because this is a once in a lifetime era, and we're getting to be in the front row seats. We're getting to be participants, and I aim to enjoy and revel in every last second of it. Otherwise, it'd be like eating a great calorie, like a piece of cake or a cupcake that you've just been eyeing and dying to have, and then it not even have any taste. What good would that be? So we got to celebrate. We got to revel. We got to keep, rejuvenated for the fight. And that's what we're doing every week on Mega Promises Kept. And we're laughing and giggling our way through it with the Speakeasy. So we're just glad you're here with us.
That's right. That's right. And if you didn't catch the Speakeasy, please watch the replay. Stephen Sears brought in some good information about the border and the children during the Obama administration that I think almost everybody forgot about. And it's from credible sources. Well, I guess credible sources.
As credible as you get.
With the fake news, yes. Next one, Doc, is from Secretary Acosta, and it's more information from Eric Trump's tweet. With 7.4 million new job openings have exceeded the number of job seekers for 14 straight months. What do you think about that?
That means
Doc?
we've got choice. That means that you can't, if you want a job, honey, you don't have any excuse not to be able to find a job. And they're not going to be part-time jobs with no benefits. These are going to be full-time jobs with benefits. So,
Yes.
another example of winning.
Exactly. And we're going to go back to Mr. Acosta again. And apprenticeships help these workers learn in-demand skills for good, safe, family-sustaining careers. With today's major announcements on apprenticeship expansion, even more workers will have that opportunity. Hashtag IRAPS. So I like this, apprenticeships and trade school and things of that nature. Obviously, the IT market is flooded with people looking for IT jobs. Technology is flooded with technology people looking for jobs, along with the H-1B visa people taking those jobs. So, being a plumber or a carpenter or a mechanic actually pays pretty well. It's a better than a $15 an hour promise working at McDonald's. So, McDonald's is for kids in high school
Technology.
and for people in college for extra money. It's not to sustain a family, right?
That's right. And I think again it shows that our wonderful president is wise enough to see that we need to highlight that everybody is not made for college. There's a great portion of our society that really is just not made to go to college. That does not mean that they're not smart. It doesn't mean that they're not capable. It means that their skills would lie better in a trade position. And I'm telling you, I don't know the last time anybody's paid a plumber or a carpenter or electrician to come do work at their house, but it costs a pretty penny. That you can make a very nice living either working in a position like that or owning it. So I think it's just opening America's eyes that the answer isn't college for everybody. We need skilled labor. We need hairdressers. We need plumbers. We need electricians. We need all that to make the world go round. And everybody needs to be reminded that you don't have to incur $200,000 worth of debt for an underwater basket weaving degree from the local university to be a winner in life. And our POTUS is smart enough to see that. And it shows again, he's not an arrogant man. He likes the common man. He is, I heard somebody say it one time, and I think I've forgotten the exact terminology, but it just so conveyed. He's not an arrogant millionaire. He's an everyday man's millionaire. And that's what I love about him, is because he's like us. And he thinks like us, and he holds values like us.
Well, Doc, I'll throw this out there.
Underestimated.
Oh, sorry, Doc.
That's okay, babe.
Just to throw this out to the $15 an hour minimum wage is supposed to solve all the problems of people working at McDonald's who have a family. Number one, working at McDonald's is not a career, unless you're going to be the manager, which is fine. If your aspiration is to say, would you like fries with that, and have children, and try to make a household budget on that, that's not reaching for anything. And waiting for Bernie Sanders to give you $15 an hour, what's going to happen is what's happening in all these cities that are doing that. In fact, in the city that's close to me, it's about 10, 15 miles away, restaurants are closing. I worked in the restaurant industry when I was younger, when I was a kid. The margins, they're razor thin margins in a restaurant business. If you're paying your employees more than it costs to make the food and serve it and not make any money, and you're taking a loss, what do? You're going to close. So some restaurants that have been in the city of Utica have closed, absolutely closed. They flat out said we cannot afford to stay open because they raised the minimum wage, and it wasn't even $15 an hour, Doc. New York State only went to almost 12, I think, something like that, 11.50 or something an hour. So there you go. You know,
the ones that are not closing are replacing those workers with kiosks.
mm-hmm.
You know, down here you can go up to the kiosk and order anytime. So the ones that are trying to be nimble enough to stay in business, they're not going to keep those people employed either. Those jobs are going to be given to technology.
That's right.
And you know, I think that the president is wise in encouraging people to you know, go through these apprentice positions and some of these journeyman positions, because you can earn a living while you're learning your trade. So it's a win-win for everybody. Plus, they open it up to kids in high school so that they can see, you know, what they might want to do before, you know, they have to make those kind of decisions. So, excuse me, my Zoom is acting up.
Well, if you noticed in the debates, none of the Democrats brought up the $15 an hour minimum wage because it is failing. So to all the Democrats, they officially win this week. They are all...
You are a meathead.
There you go. All the Democrats are meatheads who are pushing for the $15 an hour minimum wage.
Amen. Couldn't say it better. And you know what? They didn't have time to talk about it because they were too busy talking about what they were going to do for illegal aliens to bother with what they were going to do for the American God-fearing, tax-paying citizen. All they highlighted is what they were going to give away to everybody else. And they never once said what they were going to do for the American people. Just like they didn't have prayer, just like they didn't mention God except for to ridicule Christians, and just like they didn't even have a flag. That is an embarrassment that those people did not even have a flag on the freaking stage. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. In the middle of the road, Democrats ought to see that these people are left-wing libnuts and that they need to not walk away. They need to run as fast as their little chubby legs will carry them.
Now, to me, it makes more sense for a state, instead of advocating for a $15 hour minimum wage, to get people off food stamps, welfare, or whatever your state calls it, public assistance, investing in trade schools and things of that nature to get people to work, instead of enticing them to stay at McDonald's at $15 an hour. Which is unsustainable.
Not even have to work. Remember, in the Green New Deal, if they don't feel like working, they can still get paid. Well, sign me up. I'd love nothing better than the job to get to stay at home and stay on the internet all day and drink Covfefe while I do it.
Oh, you're not going to do that, Doc.
Well, I would if they'd pay me.
I couldn't. I have to work. I'm sorry. I just.
No, I really couldn't. I'm teasing. But, you know, along with that white privilege card, I've been waiting for my...
If they're going to give you bonbons and possum pie included, you might stay home, Doc.
Do what?
If they're going to give you free bonbons and possum pie.
Well, honey, you better believe it. Although I prefer fruit pies myself.
Oh, let's get back to Secretary Acosta. These major announcements on apprenticeship expansion means jobs, more jobs. We just talked about this, but more jobs for American workers, especially in advanced manufacturing and healthcare. You know, those are good paying jobs. Exactly what we just talked about. It's not McDonald's waiting for my $15 an hour from Bernie Sanders, right?
It has benefits, which we all need. So, you know, I say rock on.
before we get to the next Acosta tweet, I'm going to, speaking of our friend Bernie Sanders, I might just, hold on. I'm going to play this little video of Bernie Sanders just for some fun to break it up a little bit. That's hopefully it plays.
You know, I'm never adverse to a little fun.
Oh.
What the President of the United States should do is not deny the reality of climate change, but tell the rest of the world that instead of spending $1.5 trillion on weapons of destruction, let us get together for the common enemy, and that is to transform the world's energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. The future of the planet rests on us doing this.
Before we go, hang on.
That was pretty funny during the debate.
It was. That is funny.
Oh, these guys are comical, aren't they?
Did you notice that Bernie didn't comb his hair with the balloon before he started the debate?
Yeah.
He actually got his hair to lay down for once.
They sent him a bottle of hair gel.
Oh, I'm saying. That was funny. That was very funny.
Oh, back to Secretary Acosta. Major announcements on apprenticeship expansion. Industry recognized apprenticeship program. $183 million awarded to grow apprenticeships. $100 million in new funding for apprenticeship expansion, and 526,000 new apprenticeships since 2017. Now, that's where Trump is going to get a lot of new voters from a lot of people that didn't have good, sustainable jobs. You know, like I said, McDonald's is not a career choice. Unless you're going to be a manager at McDonald's, and there's nothing wrong with that. But serving French fries for the rest of your life is not a career choice.
No, it's meant to tide you over, or be a part-time job while you're going to school or something of that nature.
Or if you're a senior citizen looking for a little extra income, right, Doc?
Yes, yes.
Can I have fries with my order, please?
Get it yourself. I don't wait tables. I'm sorry. That's somebody else's job.
Okay.
I'm the hostess with the mostest. I'm just the welcome committee.
I'm going to play this for myself.
Tell her she can kiss my grits.
That's for you, Doc. You just told me to kiss my grits.
Oh, good. Because I really want to reach over and grab that little cap right off your head.
Okay. Yes, a starter job for teens, Puddle Mama. Puddle Mama. Yes.
Exactly, Puddle Mama.
Or senior citizens that, want to supplement some income. Some do it just for fun, right? Some seniors just go out there, they want to meet people, they, a little extra money,
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, we better keep our moves. I think I loaded you up with a lot of material tonight.
Secretary Costa, actually, we're getting close to the end there, Doc. Secretary Costa, today's major announcements on apprenticeship expansion will increase family-sustaining career opportunities. Holy cow, I did not even read these tweets before. I loaded them all because there were so many, but we just talked about this. You and I both just talked about this. Sustaining career opportunities for American workers. Not.
And there was an explicit reason why he used that language, because in testing, they said that millennials respond to the word, and I think Russia's covered this several times, sustainable. That's their key word. So I think it's neat that they acknowledge that and utilize it to their advantage, so that when this word gets out, hopefully that will jumpstart some interest in a millennial group.
Well, the left uses that all the time too, on the millennials. Sustainable energy, sustainable this, that, the other.
Exactly.
$15 an hour is not sustainable. We know that. Who is the secretary? Secretary Acosta is the labor secretary, if I'm correct, right, Doc?
Yes, he is. and he's got great information. If you're not following him on Twitter, he really puts out some great information, some great stats and that kind of thing, and it just helps you get a truer picture of what's really happening, because like we all acknowledge every day, we're not getting the truth from the mainstream media. So go to the horse's mouth. It's a great line, a great feed.
That's right. Yep, I caught your. Oh, I'm sorry, Puddle Mama, that I called you Pubble Mama or whatever I called you. Sorry, apologies. Next one is from Secretary Acosta, not little Jim Acosta, but Secretary Acosta. At 3.6%, unemployment rate is at the lowest since December of 1969, about 10 years before Doc Martin was around.
I'm sure, yes, at least 10 years before I was around. Because, I'm at a lower level than some of you people. No, I'm joking. Probably, I don't even know if the elevator goes to the top level.
1969, I don't even think, let me think, now cable, I don't even think was
no, we
around.
had three stations at that time, in case you've forgotten. Because I know when you get old, your memory kind of goes. But in case you've forgotten, we had three stations back then, and we didn't have remote controls. The kids were the remote control, and back then in '69, I'm not even sure if everybody had gone to color yet. Did they?
1969, Doc. I was still in my diapers, sucking my thumb. So I don't remember.
Yeah. I like the way that sounds too. You just, whatever reality works for you. Honey.
I do remember as a kid, though, we used to have to put the tinfoil on the rabbit ears to make the more channels come in, right?
Yeah. And they'd go, move it a little bit this way. No, move it that little way. That way.
Yeah.
That was
we had the phone,
remember
too.
The TVs were in the big consoles back then? It was all of it, those big or huge consoles. I'm telling you, we might all need to take a trip back down memory lane. It's kind of fun.
Oh, let's see. Next one we got is U.S. Kim on Twitter. Let's see what she's got to say. More winning and yet another woman leader climbing the ranks in the Trump administration. Trump picks Stephanie Grisham as the next White House spokesperson.
Yay! I don't care what her sex is. I think that's nice. I just wanted to pick the most qualified candidate, and it just happened to be a woman this time, and I'm just thrilled. And she is, our wonderful FLOTUS Melania kindly pointed out that she has been with them since 2015, and my understanding is she is going to continue in the role as FLOTUS's communications director and take this on, and they were asking her to do something else. So I mean, the woman is a one-man bandit machine, but what I really like is that they're careful with their money. Melania has probably a sixth of the staff that Michael Obama had, and they're always looking for ways to do more with less, do more with what they've got on our dime. Because remember, there's no government funded anything. It's taxpayer dollar funded. And when they're careful with my money, I love it. And when it just so happens that they pick a woman to go with it, yay!
And she's not bad looking either.
Did you notice that? I didn't notice.
Yeah, all the guys notice. At least the alpha males notice.
Yeah, I forgot y'all aren't beta males.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, she's
we kind of like that about you ourselves.
She's pretty pleasing to the eye. So, all right,
well,
and so is Sarah Sanders. Don't get me wrong.
Let me help you. I think you got a little drool coming out of the side of your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah,
get me a bib. Come on. Oh, Lord have mercy. That's right. Hey, we got Rusty. Rusty in the audience. Nice.
Hey, Rusty.
Thanks
Glad you came, honey.
Yeah. Thank you for joining, Rusty, and Fritz Ader, and Pubble Mama. Pubble Mama.
Pubble Mama, is that going to be her new nickname?
New nickname.
I'm sorry, Pubble Mama.
Mama.
It's him, not me. I can't help it.
We got Tigress back too.
He's a Yankee. You know, that tells you everything you need to know about him right there.
Okay. Let me check the restream. Actually, the Discord. We're on Discord, but I haven't told anybody about it yet until I saw that it worked. But let me go through and see who's on chat. Oh,
well, I see one comment from Grandma Smith that you might need to read.
Grandma Smith. Well, I'm glad I finally went to bed. Is that the one? Oh no, that's
no. She was admiring the new press secretary.
Oh, was she?
Mm-hmm. I won't say what she said though.
Oh, come on, Doc. What would she say?
Although you always say we're a family friendly show, but she said if I was a lesbian, I would do her.
If I was a lesbian, I'd do her too. So.
Whatever her taste is. What were you saying?
I said if I was a lesbian, I'd do her too.
Honey, it wouldn't matter what you were, you would. Let's just be truthful.
I'll identify as one right now, if that's what she's into.
If that's what she's happy with. You are a mess.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting too much stuff in Sears for one night, right?
I'm saying. We go from here to here real quick, didn't we?
Yeah. Okay, Donald Trump Jr. All right, we got a good tweet here. If Google can do this to influence presidential elections and hurt the president of the United States, just imagine what they can do to you. Big tech stranglehold on free speech and thought has to stop. We have to act before it's too late. Well, I hope he doesn't mean by acting, government acting, because that wouldn't be good, right?
No, I'm thinking that really, I wouldn't mind them taking away their protections because, right now they don't have any liability. But because they're censoring free speech, if they take those protections away, then they can be held to the standards of a publisher, which would necessitate them being more equal in their application of any of their censorship or any of the rules. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. I mean, it reminds you of when the Romans were hunting down the Christians. That's what it feels like. And I think if they actually ever read the Bible, they'd probably take ideas from, put us in the lion's den or something. But we just have to fight them tooth and toenail, guys. And part of that is being aware of what we're fighting.
See, I worry about any legislation from the government on this because once the liberals get power, look out. They're going to...
Well, we can't, I mean, the MAGA principles is about advocating for smaller government. I don't want the government to tell me how to live. I want them to get the hell out of my way. But they can take the protections away. They can bust these companies up. Because if you watch Project Veritas this week, they got the Google, one of the Google higher-ups, that they were playing. And she said that if they had been broken up, smaller companies can't do what Google's trying to do by, by shaping the narrative for the 2020 like they're trying to do with their algorithms and all of their nefarious activities that we probably only have a small idea of the depth and breadth of.
What I say, Doc, is
smaller companies can't do what Google and some of these people are doing.
What I say, Doc, is that Google is more dangerous than the Russians right now.
Yeah, you think?
Because Google can sway our election a lot easier than the Russians can if you can believe that.
And they're doing it.
Yes.
It isn't they can, they're doing it. They've been doing it. We're just finding out about them now. And we need to shout it to the rafters. We need to send this out to everybody because The average Joe Blow doesn't keep up with the news like we do, guys. They don't know all of this. They're too busy living their lives, making a living, and doing all those kinds of things. So it's up to us to take the word out like ants. We need to be telling everybody everywhere you go. My daughter was making fun of me this last week or two ago because I can't even remember where we were, but I was sitting there talking to the person that was helping us, and by the time I left, I already had them signed up to watch our show. I'd already given them all my contact information so I could send them a voter registration. I talked to everybody everywhere. We got to shout the good news because the mainstream media isn't going to do it for us, and neither is Google or Amazon or any of those other world domination organizations that are trying to steal our very freedoms from us. So, guys, watch, look, read, be aware. Use DuckDuckGo. Don't use Google. Use other means. Let's start hitting them where their pocketbook is, and that's going to get their attention almost as fast as anything.
Right, exactly. But that doesn't mean we abandon Twitter or anything like that, because we need to be out there getting this information out. Two, there are regular folks on Twitter that are not leftists or, rabid Democrats. There are normal people on Twitter that look at things, so we need to make sure we are countering the narrative.
There are people, the independents are going to be, and the moderate Democrats are ripe for the picking, guys, because they've just seen the Democrat crazy people that are running for president get up there and tell the whole country that the only people that matter, the only culture that matters now, the only hip, cool, acceptable people are Hispanic people, are illegal aliens, people from other countries. They're the only ones that count. They got up there and showed their true self for all of America to see, and it's up to us to take that good word out so that everybody gets to make their decision in the voting booth based on the truth and based on what they're seeing is for the first time. That's always been the dirty underbelly of the Democrat Party. They're the party of death. They're the party of no. They're the party of high taxes. They're the party of PC correctness. They're the party of trying to take our guns away, our very freedoms, and in many instances, our very lives. So it's time to belly up to the bar, get in the game. It doesn't matter what your talent is. It doesn't matter what gift God gave you. There's a way to use it. So find a way to get involved where we can fight this. Or otherwise, our kids are not going to be living in a free America.
Grandma Smith says, Giburu, I've never heard of it. Gibiru is a search engine.
I've not heard of them. I usually use DuckDuckGo because I know them, but whatever floats your boat. Find what works, but make sure it's somebody that's not Google and not somebody that's selling your data, not somebody that's peeping in on you and turning your machines on to tape you and listen to you when you're not aware of it, not trying to take all the information they've gathered from you and selling it to foreign countries that they don't even know what those people are doing with it, or maybe they do and that's scary, or that they're taking it, selling it to the very people that are trying to take our liberties away. So be wise. Think about who you spend your dollars with. Make sure they're on our side, and if they're not, write them and let them know it. Say, you know what, I was going to spend money with you. I was going to use your service, but because you've decided to become political and try to take my freedoms away, I can't spend a damn dime with you. That's what I do. I tell them. Just wanted you to know you missed out on a good sale today because I know what kind of people you are. I know what y'all are trying to do to us. So I'm not giving you my money. I tell them, and I don't spend it. I don't care if I have to do without a good calorie. I don't care what it costs me. I won't give them another plug nickel to go sink into pedophilia, human trafficking, human slavery, taking my rights away. Have y'all got my drift, my high horse tonight or what? but it gets me fired up, and it better get you fired up, because our kids won't be living in a free country if we don't.
That's
Just
right, Doc.
saying.
The next one up is Eric Trump. Wow, we're on a Trump roll here. Trump
Can you
accomplished.
think of a better one to be on?
No, Trump accomplishments since election day: Dow up 45%, S&P up 37%, Nasdaq up 54%. Stocks gained 9.2 trillion in value, 5 million new jobs, 3.9 million Americans off food stamps. Unemployment rate 3.6, lowest in 50 years since 1969.
I think we covered that already, but I was so excited over it. I guess I sent it to you twice.
No, we
Sorry, guys.
we didn't have that one, but
Oh, well, you know what? That's the same figures that
Secretary Costa put out.
Secretary Costa put up.
Yep.
I do
Next
not like
one.
those numbers.
Next one is, we got a real Donald Trump tweet. Here we go. Iran's very ignorant and insulting statement put out today only shows that they do not understand reality. Any attack by Iran on anything American will be met with great and overwhelming force. In some areas, overwhelming will mean obliteration. No more John Kerry and Obama.
Oh, I love it. I had to throw that in there because y'all, I nearly jumped up and down, started running naked down the street, barking at people when I read that. That got me so excited. I'm just saying, I love it because our POTUS is standing up for us. First one to ever fight for us. Isn't it exciting? Isn't it something we got to celebrate? And then to troll them, no more John Kerry and Obama, which I think was a two-part message. Number one, he was saying, I'm not a pushover like them. And number two, he was saying, screw you, Kerry and Obama. I know you're going around talking to everybody and they aren't falling for it because they know I'm going to be reelected in a landslide.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Doc. I still subscribe to the fact that we got to do the work first.
We do,
Yep.
but I'm claiming it. I'm already identifying as a winner. Thank you very much.
Oh. You're trying to get a hug. That's all you're trying to do.
I sure am on my birthday, on the day that we get him reelected, where I can get a hug, a big one.
Now, here's somebody who's out there actually doing something, working hard, as always. Scott Pressler, the persistence. I'm the happiest guy in the whole world. I just sent information to a U.S. citizen living in Germany who wanted to register to vote and learn how to request an absentee ballot. Yes, I'm even registering citizens living abroad. Congratulations, Scott.
I'll put that in because we ought to all be ashamed. Seriously, if you have not registered somebody this week, poor little Scott Pressler sitting in the airport is still registering people. That ought to all make us feel terrible. But I was still so tickled over it, I had to put it in there. But to say, you need to be carrying a folded up voter registration form in your pocket, your pocketbook, or your purse. I mean, honestly, we got to be ready. Wherever people are is where you're going to need it. So carry it with you. That way you don't ever get caught flat-footed.
That's right. You don't want to get caught flat-footed. We're down to one tweet left, Doc. So, can you believe it? Yeah. So, I got a... Oh, for those of you who missed the speakeasy, I've got a video of Mr. Yang. Mr. Yang. Some of his work, in case you don't know him, he wants to give away $1,000 a month to every American and possibly illegal aliens as well. I don't think he ever clarified that, did he, Doc?
No, I think he did. I think he indicated that it was for everyone living here. Mm-hmm.
So everyone living here means illegal immigrants too.
Just want to throw that in there in case y'all had already heard me the first 15 million times I said it.
So really, $1,000 a month is what I saw to everybody living here.
And oh, by the way, he's also a supporter of the Green New Deal. So if you don't want to work, I just wanted to know, am I going to get that $1,000 a month on top of the money I'm going to get from them for not working because I just didn't really want a job?
Yeah.
And are we going to have to pay reparations out of our monies? Or are they going to take that out before they give it to us? Just wondering. Planning ahead. You know, I live on a budget. So, wanted to know how to plan my new pay raise that's coming when I'm not working.
So here is Secretary Yang. Not Secretary Yang.
Yo, what's happening, hot stuff?
His name is Long Duck Dong.
Very clever dinner. Appetizing food fitting neatly into interesting round pie.
Hey, listen, I want to thank you for loaning me the donger. He's really bitching.
Oh, there's some of his previous work. And disclaimer, I can make that joke because I am part Asian. So, like I said in the last show, maybe I'll have to turn myself in to the hate speech police.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if you don't know who that is, that's the Democrat Party. Just in case you're wondering. They're the thought police. They're the free speech police. They're the party pippers. They're the ones that take the joy out of everything. I just want to know if I gave them a straw, if they'd go suck the joy out of somebody else's life for a change.
Grandma Smith, I demand reparations for having to think about reparations.
I know. I told her I wanted some too. Sign me up.
Holy cow. That's another thing. It's just a gigantic giveaway now with the Democrat Party. You got Elizabeth Warren wants to give reparations to gay couples for not being able to file jointly, right?
Jointly before it was legal, before their marriages were recognized.
Reparations never came up one time in the Obama administration. Now they're a big deal because we're close to 2020, so they got to try to ram that through.
Well, and that's the only way they can buy votes is to promise people money, which we don't have.
Yang is doing it.
Checked, but we got $20 trillion worth of debt from their so-called president that we got to pay. So I don't know where they think all these reparations are going to come from.
Yang is doing it, $1,000 a month. You got Bernie Sanders, free college, free healthcare, free. What else is free? Early child care free. That's Harris. That's a bunch of them. You're talking 93 to, well, that's their estimate, is $60 trillion over 10 years. That's an estimate, so you're probably looking at $120 trillion over 10 years.
They said it would average out to, the cost would average out to $65,000 a family every year.
Doc,
well, I don't bet you, but I don't pay that much taxes in for them pay them back out to me.
Doc, that's 65,000 is too low. It's probably more like 120,000.
But my point being, we can't even afford the 65,000.
Right.
We can't afford 15. We can't afford it, and nobody worth their salt. I mean, the whole premise, I just refuse to even debate it because the whole premise is ludicrous.
Yes, I'm reading the chat. Sorry. Beth Duffy, Phil, we need to talk. What I do now?
Oh. Give it to Beth. Come on. If we have time, I did want to read something real quick that I don't think I had time to send you. Did I? Well, maybe I did. Did I get a chance to send you that email regarding the migrants that they've come out We were talking about that on Speakeasy.
Yes, I've got that. That's our last tweet. Or our last article, Doc.
Good. Well,
So,
why don't you...
Let me pull that one up. Any member of Congress still attempting to block any measures to prevent human trafficking at the border should be held criminally liable. Enough. And this is regarding the CDC has announced that there's some migrants with some unknown diseases that they have no clue what they've got.
There's 3 of them, and they're quarantined in a hospital in El Paso. The CDC's been out there, and they don't even know what it is. They've tried to diagnose it, and they do not know. They said that there were also some Congolese people caught crossing the border. It was suspected they had Ebola. In one facility, there are 3 patients being held because they don't even know what they have and can't figure it out. The CDC has been here to assess them. They're isolated, and only certain specialists can see them. If that doesn't scare the absolute tar out of you, I just don't know what it would take.
Doc, the other thing is, and I posted this in our Telegram chat room. If you'd like to join that, please let us know. We will get you in that Telegram chat room. But I posted an article along with the CDC factual data about the plague. Seriously, the plague. The Black Death.
Black Death.
In
more commonly known as
California.
It has no cure. Killed how many?
Well, it does have a cure if it's caught early. If they catch it early, they don't have a cure.
They can try to treat it,
right?
And they hope it's successful, but it's not a cure per se.
You're talking Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, California. See the pattern there, and it's all in the south of each state. You don't believe me, go look it up on the CDC map. It's right there. I posted it in the chat room. It's real. Yes, I thought it was a joke. Well, I didn't think it was a joke. You like to verify these things.
Yes.
Because that's scary stuff to tell people that the plague is actually around. It's believable with all of these people coming from third world countries, with all the garbage and infestations and rats, and that's where it comes from, is rats, fleas from rats. So I saw an article on Twitter from a reputable source about L.A., the plague in L.A., Los Angeles.
They said we are ripe for an epidemic out there. I mean, they've been sounding the alarms everywhere. That I was reading an article today. They said that the police station can't even operate safely there. They have to have a robotic cleaning team. I don't even know how they do that, because the feces and the needles and the diseases that are running rampant down there. And think about it, guys. We've had a relatively cool summer. It ain't gonna stay that way. And when the heat comes and all of that, oh dear God, it'll be like it'll just be like a little what do you call them, the flask in the lab, a petri dish. It's just going to explode.
The rats are everywhere. The rats are everywhere.
And all the other diseases, measles, mumps. My 60-year-old sister got the mumps. She lived through mumps with my brother and I both and didn't get it. And the doctor said that they thought she had a natural immunity. And after being exposed through Dallas, where, like all of the cities in Texas, Dallas is overrun with illegals, and she got the mumps. And what they don't tell you is the mumps, as bad as it is when you're a kid, is so much worse when you're an adult. And it lasts forever. I saw her, she literally could not eat for practically a month. I mean, it was just, it was terrible to see what she goes through, because it's harder on you the older you are when you get some of these diseases. And we know that our elderly communities will be devastated by any of this if it were to come through. They have no immunities. We've just really got to do everything we can to lean on these people, because I'm telling you, and if we think that's bad, think about all of what they've been able to smuggle in. We have no idea what they've smuggled into the United States. It could be a dirty bomb. It could be anything. We have no freaking clue. We don't even know, with all of the millions of people coming over, we don't know what they've even said. If they could all be waiting to do an orchestrated attack across the country, for all we know.
Well, Doc, with that said, we got less than 3 minutes here. So,
did our time already go?
Yes, it did. So, I just want to say that the next show up is Ladies of Liberty. Don't forget, the Daily Boogie is Monday through Wednesday now. Thursday night at 11 in Boogie's place is Kimmy Why Censored, Kimmy Jong-un at 11 with My Favorite Things. Don't forget Tack Attack on Wednesday at 8:30. Of course, the Mac Files is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 10 o'clock for the Mac Files. Plus his Sunday shows, which are awesome. Who am I forgetting? Tamara Lee and Brent Hamachek, is it? And Tav Show and Pirate Radio on Friday nights for FU Friday. And our own Speakeasy show. So you guys can, check us out. You can check us out on Patreon. If you want to join our Promises Kept Speakeasy chat room at Telegram, reach out to Doc or I on Twitter. And did I forget anything, Doc?
John, I don't think so. I think you about covered the gamut. The main thing is spread the word.
Yes.
We need everyday Americans watching something other than mainstream media. So be sure and spread the word. We may not be perfect, but we're getting out there every day, and we're hoping our enthusiasm carries us where our professional expertise might not.
Okay, everybody, thank you. Thank you for stopping in. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
We're going to get you on the flip side for all the winning, guys.
That's
don't
right.
forget to come back.
Oh, don't forget James R. Scopes every day, between 5 and 6 sometime. Thank you.